Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Greetings, 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 greetings. What's up, Lineage? This is your brother, Chief Kalanaga. Hope everybody's doing well.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
All
Greetings,
right.
greetings, greetings,
Facebook
greetings.
is good. We got audio. Okay. Just a quick update. We're planning to have an event. So I just want to come on here and give you guys a little bit of the details. So if you're interested in going or participating, just let me know. As you know, October, I think is October 9th, is what they call Native American month, right? But we are not Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? We are American Indians. So I think we need to start kind of like coming together to create our own, you know what I'm saying? So we could make our own be known. So with that being said, in October, we are planning to have our own powwow in Washington State. All right, that's what we are planning to do. So this is an opportunity for us to do a meet and greet. This is an opportunity for us to start celebrating, our culture as a unit. Like I said, Native American month is or Native American Day, I think, is October 9th. But I'm going to reiterate, we are not Native Americans. We are American Indians. There is a difference. Okay, all Native means is to be born. Anybody could be Native. Anybody could be Native. Keep that in mind. All right. Joe Biden is a Native. All right. Anybody's Native. Trump is a Native, but they are not American Indians. Okay, so it's a difference. All right. American Indians are the people that the colonizers, the people who look just like us that came here in 1492 from across the seas, and the original indigenous people that they saw, okay, were us. Okay, the what they call the Negro de Terra. Okay, you have the Negro de Terra and you have the Negro de Guinea. The Negro de Guinea were the Africans, and the Negro de Terra was the American Aborigines. So the Negroes that they found here in the Americas, we are the American Indians. Okay, it was only later, like I said before, due to colonization, genocide, on land and on paper. But of course, it was, that came into fruition on paper. Then it became a Native American thing, which was created by the federal government, and the BIA, which is the Bureau of Indian Affairs, took over to kind of like further the paper genocide in terms of land allocations. And the people you see today are literally, the majority of them are what you call $5 Indians. Okay, some others are those who actually assimilated and they created their own nations. Their nations only exist on paper, what you call de facto nations. They are not de jure nations. They are de facto nations. Okay, federal government entities that were created, especially the 5 civilized tribes. Okay, those that are actually uncivilized, are pretty much that you'll find they are the Negroes, okay, of the Americas. So I want to give a shout out to my brother Corey, Richardson. We just linked up. He's one of the brothers that's actually on Facebook. That's always sharing information. Sharing is caring. So that's a beautiful thing. He has a great spirit, and it was an honor to actually meet you in person, brother Corey. So much respect. All right. So like I said, what we are doing is this: we are planning our own powwow. We are planning our own event in October, and that's going to be in Washington State. Now, one of our original indigenous brothers, he has 30 acres of land in Washington State. Okay, it is not too far from Yakima, Washington. So it's Yakima is literally the centralized part of Washington State, and the land is no more than 10-15 minutes away. So what we're going to do is, people are not going to stay on the land exactly. We're just going to have events on the land. So people will actually book their flights, book their hotels, and we'll set up an itinerary, with events around, the Friday and the Saturday. So now the goal is to have the event from October 13th to the 15th, right? The 13th is a Friday, which is a powerful number. 13 is the number of the deity, all right? The Godhead, 13, 1, 3. Okay. So we're gonna get there. Some people could get there on the Friday. Some people could get there on the Thursday. I don't know about how your schedule is, but for me, as one of the planners, I'll get there on Wednesday. Okay, just to check everything out, prepare things, make preparations, do what I got to do, and I'll leave on that Monday. So I'll get there on the 11th, and I'll leave the Monday on the 16th. But the event is the Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So who want to leave on Sunday, they could do that. who could leave on Monday, they could do that as well. All right. But the plan is the Friday we get there, and we'll have a more of a detailed itinerary. But I'm just giving you a synopsis of or an idea of what we want to set up. So on Friday, we encourage everybody to get there early. Now, if you could get there on Thursday, I don't know what your budget is, but do that. That would be much better. Okay. But on Friday, we want to have an early meet and greet, like around lunchtime, right? Kind of like brunch. I'll reserve something in one of the hotels. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your hotel per se, but the hotels are pretty much within the same vicinity in Yakima, right? So we'll get a hotel. I'll rent one of the rooms, and we'll have a meet and greet there, right? Everybody introduce themselves, whatever the case is. And Friday would just be that, okay? Meet and greet, hanging out, probably do a little sightseeing, whatever the case is. And then Saturday would be the main event on the land. So we'll get there as early as possible. We'll do our meditations, our early sunrise meditations. We will do, if we have to do invocations, we'll do that, whatever the case is. If you have any of your elders who has transitions, you want to bring pictures, make sure you get their names. So when we do the invocations, we could acknowledge them. So we'll do that. All right. Then we're going to have storytelling. Okay. Then we'll do that all day, right? Everybody, you could bring your own lunch, but what I am going to probably do is see if I could get like a big pot. And so we could cook some food on the land, like what in the islands, we call it like an ital soup. So we could probably do like an ital, soup. Oh, anyway, that's neither here or there. We could decide what we will do. But in the evening time, we're going to do like a bonfire, and we're going to do different dances and different, celebratory, activities to acknowledge our ancestors. And then on Sunday, if for those that are leaving on Sunday, try to leave in Sunday evening. So during the day early, we could have like a little event, opposed to a meet and greet. It would be like a meet and outro, so to speak, right? And then if anybody have any type of businesses, whether you have clothing, whether you have jewelry, whether you have soaps, lotion, whatever it is, and you could bring some of that, then we'll use that time to patronize each other. Or we could do that on Saturday as well. We'll allocate a time frame, probably for like 1 hour or 2 hours, to see who have stuff, and we could support each other, right? So that's what we are planning in October. So anyone who we also looking for planners, right? People who want to be a part of that. I put Robert Moore, his link. He's one of the planners as well. So I put his link in the description, so you could link him up, send him a message, and let him know, hey, you know what, you would like to be a part of the planning, to plan the events or be part of the organizing group for the powwow in October. So I don't know if y'all think that's a good idea. If you think it's a great idea, please let me know. Post it in the chat. For those of you who are actually interested in going, you could send me an inbox, send me an email. My email is Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle. All right, Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle, all one word, at gmail.com. So send me a Facebook inbox, and then I'll take your name, take your information, and you could also be part of the planning. Like I said, that would be October 13th to the 15th. I'm gonna get there on the 12th, all right, and leave on the 16th, all right. But the events we're planning, the powwow, is the 13th to the 15th, okay, and that's in October. So the goal is, like I said, so we could start creating our own. All right, let me see if I could not let me see. I'm going to show you a little picture of Yakima, so you could probably start looking into flights, and hotels. Okay, so this is Yakima City in Washington State. All right, give me 1 second. Here we go. All right. So Yakima City is the heart, and is the heart, of Central Washington. All right. So let me just give you a quick little reading on that. About Yakima is a city in Washington State. It's situated in the fertile Yakima Valley, known for its wineries and apples and orchards. Yakima Valley, they have a lot of wineries, just so you know. Yakima Valley Museum, they have that, they have the exhibits and all that. So we could plan that as a day on Friday to probably go to the museum, right? And museum has its exhibits on local history, including wooden wagons and 1930s soda fountain. The Yakima Valley trolleys, the crisscross the area in in some bordering Yakima River, the Yakima area arboretum, if I pronounce that correctly, encompasses gardens, natural areas, and a large collection of trees. So we could make that like an all-day event. Like when we get there early Friday, we do the meet and greet. We could go to the museums and do some sightseeing. So that's in Yakima, Washington. All right. So for those of you that are interested in going, look into flights. So the plan is, like I said earlier, the plan is one of our brothers, he has 30 acres of land in Washington State. All right. So we want to do our powwow. So we are not going to stay on the land. So it's not camping. You don't need to bring a tent. Okay. Yakima is the central part of Washington State, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to book our hotels and we're going to book our flights to fly into that state, into that city, right? And then the land is literally about 10, 15 minutes away from Yakima. So he's going to hook everything up, get buses to take us to the land, right? Now, if everybody could get there within a certain period of time, we could probably see if we could set up transportation to pick people up from the airport, all right? But I know people will be flying in different times, so we'll have to work it out, but we cannot make individual trips picking people up from the airport. So most likely people might have to do Ubers, right? So look into that, keep all that into consideration, all right? But like I said, I'm going to let this video kind of float for the next month or so to see what type of feedback we get. If we could get at least 50 people to commit, like, no less than 50, like 50 people to commit to that, then we'll definitely make it a go. If we're not getting less than 50 people, then we are not going to do it. All right. But at least 50 people. All right. So it could look like we're making an impact, so we could start raising the vibrations. You feel me? So that's what we are doing. Everybody's always talking about, we talk the talk, but we're not walking the walk. Well, I say let's walk the walk. And that would be one of the first event of many events, and we could do, we could broadcast that and show people like, yo, we're really coming together and we are putting that energy, together. All right. As a unit, so we could start making these moves. You feel me? So let me know what you guys think about that. And if you want to be part of the organizing committee, let me know. All right. Once we start getting the traction on that, then we will do a flyer. Okay. So let me see. If I were to put in flights, let me just see what it looks like. Flights from New York to Washington State in October. Let me kind of like get a little kind of see what kind of prices we're looking at. So from New York, right? Flights from New York to Washington State would be $221. All right. Then that's round trip. So to me, that's not bad, right? So, and people are coming from different locations. So it would be like about $221. I might get something for maybe under 200. I don't know. But anyway, I'm seeing a nonstop flight from New York to Washington for $238. So that's not bad. That's not bad, right? Then let me see hotel. If I were to put in hotel in Washington State in October for, let's just say, 5 days. Some people will do 3 days because I'm going to be organizing, so I'm going to go a little earlier. But all right, so the prices vary. I see like some of them have $50 a night. I see some of them have $49 a night. So if you book early enough, right, you could get a decent deal. So like I said, I'm going to go. And those hotels are like 4.5 stars. You know what I mean? Some of them, the 5 stars are $59. The 4.5 stars are $50. So, and that's within let me see, Washington State, Yakima. Let me just put in Yakima, Washington State, right? Let me see what type of prices we getting now. All right, so within Yakima State itself, since it's kind of central, then it's up into $60-something, for the night, right? So I see one for 60. All right. 63. There you go. So that's not bad, right? So like I said, we have enough time to plan. Okay, so just want to give you guys an idea of what things will look like and what we are planning. So I'm not going to make this video too long. Again, just to recap, quick announcement: we are planning on doing a powwow in October. The potential date is October 13th to the 15th. The 13th is a Friday. The 15th is a Sunday. If you are going to fly on the 15th, which is the Friday, see if you could get like an early flight, okay, and get there early a.m. because at 1 p.m. we want to do a meet and greet, okay. Between 1 and 2 we want to do a meet and greet, okay. And if you're leaving on Sunday, try to see if you could leave in the evening time. But for those of you who could actually come the day before, which is the Thursday, and leave the Monday, that would be perfect, right? That would be perfect. Me personally, I'm going to get there on the Wednesday and do some planning, you know what I mean? So we can make some things happen. All right. So that is the goal, October 13th to the 15th. Anybody who want to be a part of the organizing committee, just send me an inbox or link Brother Robert Moore in the description. His Facebook is on there. And like I said, I'm going to let this video float for like a month and see what type of feedback we get. You know what I mean? So if we could get more than 50 potentials and really have people commit to that, then we'll go ahead and do an actual flyer for that event. Okay. Then we'll have, speakers, we'll have people that could talk about history, talk about a little bit of their journey, how they got to where they were or where they at right now, whatever the case is. So that's the plan. All right. It's really about, a communion. Okay. So we're starting to communicate, and that's what it's all about, creating that community. All right. So we could probably build and get to know each other in person, opposed to always on the internet. Let's feel people's energy and feel who's real and who's not, you know what I mean? And come together so we could definitely honor our ancestors. All right. So if you guys think that's a great idea, go ahead and, share the video, let it, let it circulate so it could get to other original indigenous people. Now, a lot of people, when you hear me talk about being indigenous, a lot of people don't realize the reason why I put original in front of indigenous. I'll tell you why. Okay. Let me show you why. Because anybody could be indigenous. You see, everything you see, they will give you the truth, but they will not tell you the lie that's within the truth. So that's why I always have to break down the words for y'all and show you the truth within the deception. All right. When it comes to being indigenous in from the United Nations, they left it up to the people to decide who's indigenous. Because why? They cannot give you a definite meaning of what indigenous is. Because if they were to do that, then it would literally exclude the Native Americans, because they are not original indigenous. They are born indigenous. So there's a difference. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you call yourself indigenous as an American Aborigine, please make sure you put original indigenous in front of it. And here's why. Let me show you the reason why, which I've already shown this before, but I'm certainly sure not everybody's been checking out my video for, from the beginning. So let me kind of show it to you again. Okay. Because I love to teach. I love to educate people and give them the right knowledge. All right. So this is, I'm going to break this down for y'all. Indigenous, the etymology of the word. Okay. Etymology of a word is literally the when the word was first used, okay, in a particular century, and it gives the meaning, the energy that the word was meant to carry. So as you could see, indigenous means two things. It means to be born or originating. In fact, it means three things. It could mean born, that's one, originating, that's two, and born and originating, that's three. We fall, as American Aborigines, we fall in the three category, the number three category, born and originating. Okay. Native Americans fall under the born only, because they are not originating. So you see why they could trick you with that. So when they tell you they are indigenous, yes, they are. You see, you don't have to get into all these debates because of your lack of knowledge. And that's why I'm teaching you this. Okay. So when you see the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, it's a broad declaration. It doesn't necessarily specifically tell you what or define what type of indigenous they're talking about. Okay. So they leave it up to the people to decide who is indigenous and what it means. Okay. So we have to clarify that, and we have to be specific. That's why we need our own declaration as original indigenous Americans or American Indian declaration, because we are that. Okay, so once again, indigenous, an adjective, it means born or originating in a particular place. So yes, are Native Americans indigenous? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Now, people who lack the knowledge will argue and debate with these people. Oh, well, you're not indigenous. Yes, they are. Trump is indigenous. Biden is indigenous. Everybody who was born in the United States or anywhere in America is indigenous. Now, the distinction is, are you original indigenous? That's where you could draw the line. So I always use original indigenous whenever I identify myself as being indigenous. Okay. So I wanted to clarify that to you so you know when you use the word indigenous, if you are original, then it would be in your best interest to put original indigenous opposed to leaving a blanket statement and just saying indigenous. Okay. All this is trickery, word magic, right? So that everybody could be inclusive. And that's what they did with the word indigenous, especially with the UN Declaration, right? Because they will tell you in the declaration itself, they left it up to the people to decide. In other words, self-determination. Anybody could determine that they are indigenous as long as they are born in the Americas. Now, when I start probing now and start talking about original, okay, what's your origin? What's your roots? That's when they start getting uncomfortable because they know, okay, this man know what he's talking about. All right. And by no means I'm trying to make people feel uncomfortable. I'm just letting them know and try to make them comprehend that there's a difference between original and just be born, which is just being native. That's all born means, to be native. All right. So I hope y'all saw that for yourselves and see exactly the point I am making here. All right. And that's what it is. You feel me? So you have the information. I'm not going to, do the back and forth with, the same information. I'm not going to be too redundant. This was strictly to promote a powwow we want to do in October from the 13th to the 15th. Those of you who could get there on the 12th, do that. If you could live on the 16th, do that. If you could only come on the 15th and the 14th, do that. Hey, if you could only come that Friday night and just do Saturday evening and leave early Sunday, whatever the case is, at least come and spend the entire day, that Saturday, with us, and let's bond, let's build. Okay, let's connect. That's what this is all about. All right. So I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all. And especially if you want to help organize, definitely hit me up. So we're looking for no less than 50 brothers and sisters that are willing to go to Washington State in October. All right. I think October 9th, if I'm not mistaken, let me just confirm that. October 9th, I think, is Native American month. Okay. But that's Native American month. So that's their thing. That's not our thing. So let me see what it is. Well, Columbus Day is October 9th. But however, Indigenous Peoples Day, in some places people celebrate that same day, Indigenous Peoples Day, right? So everybody's saying they're indigenous, right? So we are going to celebrate our own, and we are going to do our own thing on the from the 13th to the 15th. All right. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll talk soon. Take care.